Thank you very much. It was fun listening to Al Jean. Let me give you a little list of some movies. I don't know whether you've heard of these movies. Andy, you'll have heard of them.
I definitely have.
High Noon, Gary Cooper, The Wild Ones, The Caine Mutiny, The Pride and the Passion, The Defiant Ones.
Classics all.
Inherit the Wind, On the Beach. It's a mad, 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 mad world, which I saw about 20 times. Oh, my God. Judgment at Nuremberg. Guess who's coming to dinner, who we studied in school? The director and the producer in a couple of instances of those movies was the one and the only Stanley Kramer, one of the great Hollywood directors still of all time. And it is my pleasure tonight to introduce his wife, Karen Sharp Kramer, and his daughter, Catherine Cat Kramer. Welcome to Hollywood Headliners. Wow. There. And now your mics are up. How about that?
Oh,
Sounds
wow.
great. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Now we can hear you.
Now I hear it.
You
We're happy to be here.
You look like the Kramer sisters.
Thank you. I love it. She hates it.
Well, we are partners in a production company, and I do tell her what to do a lot.
Yeah,
so.
she becomes my mother when you get a little bit older, you know, and I get to be this age. She becomes my mother now.
I love that. We're fixing your camera so we can see more of you.
Oh, thank you.
There we go. And it is so great to have you here. I want to just tell everyone, you're off tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Where are you going to Kentucky?
Louisville.
Louisville,
Yeah.
Kentucky.
Louisville.
What's cooking in Kentucky?
The Louisville Film Festival. Yeah.
They're honoring Stanley Kramer. It's the centennial this year. So he's being honored all over the country. And this is one of the many places that said we'd like to establish an ongoing award for Stanley Kramer. I guess really giving an award to a filmmaker, up-and-coming filmmaker. So we said absolutely.
Oh, how
we'd like to do
fantastic.
It's
it.
called
That's
the
great.
Pioneer Awards.
The Pioneer Award.
Yeah, I kind of had a hand in naming it.
Yes, she did.
You guys do so many things. I want to tell Say and Andy, here we are on the Sunset Gower lot, right in the middle of Hollywood.
Yeah.
You both are very familiar with this. There's a theater on this lot named after
Stanley
the
Kramer.
Stanley Kramer Theater,
Yes,
That's
yeah.
right.
which is one of the great screening theaters here in Hollywood.
is, yeah.
Thank you.
But prior to that, you've got quite a credit list yourself here, young lady.
Thank you for the young part.
Yeah.
Well, yes, I was very lucky. I came along at a time when there probably wasn't that much competition in this industry.
Oh, come on, shut
And
up. Don't give me any of that.
And I worked all the time, and I worked a lot on this lot.
Stop
so-
with the humble pie, please, please, please. The
Now,
story.
what was working a lot? How many movies a year would you
Did I
work
make?
on?
Oh, gosh, you'll have to look me up on IMDb. You know, half my credits aren't even there.
I did, yeah.
Because actually I did a lot of live TV.
Oh.
Live, when it was
Uh-huh.
live.
Uh-huh.
And it's not even on there. So
Was this a TV lot or just movies?
No, it was movies, but
Yeah.
I did a lot of TV here, too. Screen Gems was here.
Oh,
And I did things for Screen Gems. I Dream of Jeannie was shot here.
Oh,
and I
my
was in the
gosh.
original first two
Love.
episodes of it. Supposed to be a regular, but I said, you know what? I don't think I'm going to stay with this show because I've
You're a
never-
movie star.
No, because I've never
Right,
been.
Kat?
No, never been a second leading lady.
Yeah, right.
And so I said, Barbara.
do you still see Barbara?
I do
Yeah.
occasionally.
great.
Yes.
Yeah, she's
she
great.
is great. She's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah, I just
and-
saw her a few weeks ago. She's
Yes, she's fabulous.
still very funny too.
Karen did her first film in Hollywood, and it was a Stanley Kramer film. But did you meet Stanley?
No, it was called The Sniper.
Yeah.
Right here on this lot.
Wow.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh!
No, I never met him. I was 16 years old. I had about 3 lines.
Wow.
Sitting on a drugstore stool, kind of in the background there, and that actually paid for my entrance into the Screen Actors Guild.
Oh, how great!
So I saw a lot of publicity. This is after I married Stanley. I forgot that I made that
And by the
movie.
way, and where did you meet him then? Finally,
I met him on the Paramount lot.
which is just down the street here from us.
That's
this goes.
right.
Just John
Yeah.
Gower.
When
Yep.
I was making a film opposite Jerry Lewis, his leading lady, called The Disorderly Orderly.
Disorderly
Oh, my
Orderlies,
gosh.
right?
And Stanley was shooting Ship of Fools.
Oh my gosh!
And of course, every day in the commissary, I would look at that table way in the corner, this long table with Simone Signoret, Oscar Werner,
yeah,
Lee
yeah.
Marvin,
Yeah,
Jose
yeah.
Greco, George Siegel, all these great, and then in would walk Vivian Leigh. Well, I mean, I practically dropped the lunch on my costume watching that table. So one day I got
Say she was in a little movie called Gone with the Wind.
Yes,
Oh,
she was.
yes.
Did
Yeah.
you see that one?
Of course.
It was in
Yeah.
color. It was it was quite an exciting movie.
Well,
You guys
I-
really underestimate me.
Oh, she was,
Yeah.
well, she was my favorite
Yeah.
anyway. So one day I got enough courage to walk onto that closed set, because all the years I'd been working, I never visited anybody's set. I was too busy working on my
Right,
own, you know?
right.
And I always had a job waiting, so I was never looking for a job.
Yeah.
Wasn't that lucky? I don't know how come I was that lucky, but I was. Anyway, so I walked onto that set, and she was working. But then Stanley said, "Who is that?" You know? And I looked up I thought, "Oh my God, that's that director. What's his name?"
What's his name? The Kramer boy.
That'd be very nice. Anyway, so he started to pursue me.
Yeah.
It took him a year to get a date.
Yeah, good for you.
And
I hear
It's
holding
hard to
out.
get.
I hear holding out really works
it
well with
really
guys.
works,
Yeah,
but I wasn't
yeah.
trying to do that. But anyway,
I love it.
But you know, he
we were
made a
married.
lot of his big. Just to interrupt, he made a lot of his big movies here
Yeah.
when it was Columbia. So now that it's Sunset Gower and we have the Stanley Kramer Theater, it just it's perfect. Perfect for the centennial too.
You know, what's really fun about having you both here tonight. First of all, Stanley was such an amazing director and producer. But you know, here you are, a film and television star, and then Kat, you're really involved in a lot of. You've got some great, wonderful motives that you're doing here to help perpetuate really good topics in the film business.
Yes, I started Kat Kramer's Films That Changed the World. That's the name of my screening series. And I launched it at my dad's theater in 2009. And this year is actually the 5th anniversary. And I screen films and documentaries with social issues, current films, movies that need to be spotlighted. And I'm about to have another one November 13th on the lot here.
Where'd you get this philosophy? I mean, was this something you and Dad talked about? Is it a DNA thing?
I think it's in the
DNA.
DNA. It just kind of,
DNA.
when the theater was launched, we had a couple of screenings in there, and then I got this idea to launch the screening series. So we're in the 5th anniversary, as I said. I've had a lot of celebrity support. It's really for the media, for activists, for celebrities that are behind the different issues. And I don't charge admission.
Ah,
It's
yes,
only.
indeed. The music
fifth one
from
is coming up. So it's actually Fallout, a new documentary from Australian filmmaker
What's it
Lawrence
about?
Johnston. It's about nuclear holocaust, where we're at now with that,
Yeah.
and the making of my dad's film On the Beach, and how he took the novel of Neville Shute and adapted it to the screen. And it's the first time I've had a film in my series that has my mom in it and also is about my father.
Wow.
How about that?
and can I add just one little itty bitty bit, insignificant as it may seem, but in my home, in my office, I have a script of On the Beach autographed by your father.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
It's my favorite Stanley
You'll have
Kramer
to bring
film.
that.
I should. Well, I was going to bring it down. I thought, that'd be kind of cheeky.
Oh no, I like
You're
that
invited.
idea.
You two would say, "Oh, please."
Please, I hope you'll come to it, because it's a really important film.
Yeah, Dr. Helen Caldecott is in it, and she's flying in just for the premiere.
Mm-hmm.
And Donna Anderson, who made her debut in On the Beach. And we're putting together an illustrious host committee, a lot of supporters that have been involved with the series from the beginning, and a lot of new folks, too.
That's so
I'm really
great.
looking forward to it.
On the Beach, by the way, was really a film about nuclear holocaust,
yes.
sort of
Well,
the end of the world, really.
In 1959,
Yeah.
this country, a lot of people were building bomb shelters
Mm-hmm.
in their backyards because Russia had the bomb and we had the bomb, and we were terrified of Russia because we have a love-and-hate relationship with them
Yeah,
for
right.
many generations
Yeah.
now. And of course, this film is frightening, and it was meant to be. And when Stanley premiered it, he chose December the 7th, which of course was Pearl Harbor, the day Pearl Harbor was bombed. But he didn't just premiere it here. He premiered it in every major country, in every major city of every in one night. Ava Gardner was in one part of the world, Fred Astaire in another, Gregory Peck in another. And that film in one night, it was on the March of Time, which was our CNN in film at that time. Kings, queens, heads of state came out all over the world
Oh
in
my
one
gosh,
night.
wow.
That film started the disarmament talks at the United Nations.
And it was really sort of the first global release of a film.
That's right.
I mean, it was
It's
really
never,
amazing.
never been done
now,
before.
Tell me a little bit about some of the film festival activity now that's going on around.
Oh,
There's a lot.
well, okay. First we
After
start.
Kentucky, okay.
No, we started with the UCLA, the Billy Wilder Theater, and the Centennial started there, and we just showed 15 movies of Stanley's and had major guest stars at every one of the screenings. We also went to Catalina, where we made a film called Bless the Beasts and Children in 1970. It was the first animal rights movie. And they have an ongoing award for Stanley now called the Social Artist Award. We gave it to Sharon Stone a couple of weeks ago because she's a very well-known activist in many subjects, particularly with AIDS.
Yeah.
And now we're going to Kentucky. We have a new film festival every year in Palm Springs
So
called
great.
the Stanley
Isn't that
Kramer
great?
Film Festival, and we're showing 6 of his movies in November. And it is also not only the 100th birthday of Stanley Kramer, but it's also the 50th anniversary of It's a Mad,
I can't believe he'd be
Mad World.
He'd be 100 because
I know,
you're
I
like, you were.
I was a lot
You were
younger.
9 when he married you.
And he
Yeah.
had my sister and me when he was much older, so it's hard to believe.
we were old.
And
parents.
Kat, I
Yeah.
love your voice. You've got the most beautiful timbre in your voice, and I know you're a
thank you.
singer, and you sing a tribute song for your dad too. At this.
Yes, and I just reimagined "Bless the Beasts and Children" as a new version for new generations, as an animal rights anthem, and it's officially the theme song for PAWS, which is Performing Animal Welfare Society. I'm not sure if you're aware of them, and I also did it for PAWS LA for their fundraiser last year. But it really is for the late Pat Derby and Ed Stewart, and for PAWS. So I'm very proud of that.
I just have to make a quick observation. We've had some wonderful guests down here and have had a lot of fun. We talk about all aspects of the business. We have never had 2 people as well dressed and coiffed as you 2. You hands down win the best dressed award ever on Hollywood Headliners.
really?
I am not kidding you. You are like we could do a red carpet thing. Here,
I'm not even black tied.
No, unbelievable.
enough.
Yeah. I can't thank you enough for
Thank
coming
you.
down. Have a wonderful trip to Kentucky tomorrow.
Thank you.
We hope everybody is going to turn out. You're going to have a great turnout. Stanley Kramer, if you were a movie buff, you've got to check out some Stanley Kramer movies. For a good laugh, it's a mad world. It's the best. To Karen and Kat Kramer, thank you so much for being here with us. And thank you all for being with us tonight on Hollywood Headliners. Hollywood Headliners is produced by Andy Epstein. And our social media star is Lindsay Rose. And I'm Rob Weller. You have as much right to work and come and be a star in Hollywood as anybody. But if you're going to come to this town, you got to be ready. You've got to know how it functions, and you got to know what you're up against. We'd love to have you out here, but if you do move here, don't bring your car. Traffic sucks. On behalf of all of us, thank you very much. We'll see you next time on Hollywood Headliners.